Saintis kata matahari tak berjalan. Nabi kata matahari berjalan. Yang tak berjalan bumi. Tapi saintis kata matahari tak berjalan, yang berjalan bumi. Sekarang mana percaya? Saintis cakap kita percaya.
For a long time, European philosophers and scientists believed that the Earth stood still in the center of the universe, and every other body, including the Sun, moved around it. But what about Quran told us 1400 years ago that the Sun rotates about its axis? Is there any contradiction between Quran and science? Let's see. Previously, the European scientists believed that the Earth was the center of the solar system and the universe, with all the planets as well as the moon and the sun revolve around it. This was known as geocentrism, and this was believed since the time of Ptolemy in the 2nd century BC till as late as 16th century, until Nicolaus Copernicus in 1512 propounded the heliocentric theory of the planetary motion. He said that it is the Sun which is the center of the solar system, and all the planets as well as the Earth, it revolves around the Sun. Later on, a German scientist by the name of Johannes Kepler in 1609 wrote in his book Astronomia Nova that not only do the planets, including the Earth, revolve around the Sun, but they also rotate about their own axis. Years ago, we were taught this fallacy in our school, that planets including the Earth not only revolve around the Sun, but they also rotated about their own axis. We were taught too that the whole solar system in the galaxy revolved around the Sun, and the Sun was stationary as it did not rotate about its own axis. But consider this following Quranic verse. It is Allah who has created the night and the day, the sun and the moon, each one traveling in orbit with its own motion. Al-Quran 21:33. The Quran says the sun and the moon, besides revolving, also rotate about their own axis. The Arabic word used here is yasbahun, derived from the Arabic word sabaha, which describes the motion of a moving body. If this Arabic word sabaha is used for a person moving on the floor, it will not mean that he is rolling. Instead, it will mean he is either walking or running. The same Arabic word is used for a person in the water. It will not mean he is floating. Instead, it will mean he is swimming. Similarly, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the same word sabaha for a celestial body, it does not mean that the body is flying in the air. It means that it is moving with its own rotation, rotating about its own axis. The rotation of the Sun about its own axis can be proved with the help of an equipment that projects the image of the Sun on the tabletop so that one can examine the image of the Sun without being blinded. Today, science has discovered this fact. On observing the Sun, we find that there are spots on the Sun called black spots. From the motion of these spots, we realize that it takes about 25 days for the spot to complete one rotation, indicating that the Sun has a rotation period of 25 days. In fact, the Sun travels through space at roughly at 150 miles per second, and it takes about 200 million years to complete one revolution around the center of our Milky Way galaxy. Allah said, "It was permitted to the Sun to catch up the moon, nor can the night outstrip the day. Each just swim along in its own orbit, according to Allah." Al-Quran 36:40. One cannot help but be amazed at the scientific accuracy of the Quran. Whatever science has discovered recently has been mentioned in the glorious Quran 1400 years ago. Subhanallah. According to Albert Einstein, the famous physicist and Nobel Prize winner, science without religion is lame, and religion without science is blind. Let me remind you too that the Quran is not book of science, but it is book of science. Thanks for watching and discovering with us. I'm Syiehab, who represents Group 5, signing out. Peace. Wassalamu.